Hey, buddy, what's up?
What's up, buddy?
So here we are still. What number is this, Core?
This is number 8, right?
Number 8. Yeah, it's crazy. I think, thinking about anything right now that's going on and like doing this kind of stuff, it's like we've all gotten to a point. People have gotten to a point where they're kind of like have this certain acceptance about what's going on with the pandemic, and we're adjusting and we're trying to maneuver in that way. It's so crazy, So.
It really is, man.
I didn't know we'd be doing this, but I'm glad. I totally enjoy it.
Yeah, and it seems like the Crush crew does too, man. I was sitting here waiting to get on, and got a lot of peeps on here to say hello to already. We got Lori, Tim, Joe, Mike. What's up, fellas? Nicole. Got a lot of names already on the list. This is great.
Yeah, it's
awesome
great
stuff. But yeah, you're right, man. Another week flew by. Just they go by so quick these days. It's crazy.
They seem to do. It's just I don't know how the time just cruises by like this. It's incredible. Oh, Kathy's
really is.
Right. Hi, Kathy.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah, she's awesome. Kathy sent down a dude for me to tattoo, which I thought was awesome, which is great. That's like the interconnected that we got to realize.
Lori's funny. She's got jokes. What's up, Chuck? How you doing?
Actually, yeah, it does look like you have kind of like maybe like not like a 80s, late 80s, early 90s, like kid and play kind of high top or something like that.
Oh, really? That's pretty funny, man.
It looks good. Mine's starting to look a little bit like that.
It's like look at you, man.
A small high top. I didn't do the sides.
No doubt. Hey, Eric, what's going on, man?
Mark,
man. One of those weeks, man. Got a little time off with the kids. Did a little kayaking. Did a little, outside stuff with them.
Yeah.
And I did some stuff to try to prep up for the show. You can see I got these little new earbuds. Well, that's for my sister, by the way, because she's been making fun of me for the last couple of weeks because I've had these strings of wires hanging down. So I went the wireless route.
She's like, what kind of chain are you wearing, Corey? She's always talking about the chain that you're wearing in the Crush Corner.
There's no chain. I don't know if she's tuned in yet, but there is no chain. And now you don't have to ever talk about it again. So how's that? But, dude, what's really funny is, I love these little things that happen, when you go out and you do stuff like that. So I was at the Best Buy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, I told you I was going to tell you this story. So, So I'm checking out and, woman behind the register says, I really like your shirt. And I had the one on behind me here, the one, the life you ain't living unless you're crush, killing, and destroying it, that one. Yep. And she really liked it. And I'm like, oh, cool. You got to check out ckdclothing.com.
Awesome.
Because, that's where you're going to find out and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. And she said, well, what's the CKD stand for? I says, well, I highly recommend you go to the page so you can read the about section so you can see what my buddy's, background around why he created it. But, what it means to me is, crush your goals, kill negativity, destroy obstacles. That's kind of the mindset that I take from it. But I said it could mean that in a different way for everyone, but the motto, do what you do it damn good. I said, that's basically the overall motto of the brand. And, but I appreciate you liking the shirt and hopefully she's going to check out the website. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think coming into the brand coming into fruition and finally like putting everything together and deciding on a name, which in the end, it was pretty easy for me because as you know, it came from my dad, an old sci-fi series, way back.
Yep.
But it was just that it had just enough amount of an edge to it. Mm-hmm. But when you get into the website and look at the mottos and stuff, you realize what it's about, and it's doing just that.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, I don't think there's too many guests that could be coming on tonight that really epitomize what this brand's all about. I'll tell you that.
I agree with you.
I tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, we've been lucky too. We've been chatting with so many people, dude. Like it's such a great time. Friends from way back, close friends, people we may not know quite as well, but actually have had a chance to get to know through spending time on the Crush Corner.
Yep.
And then ultimately we're starting to kind of reach out to folks that we don't really know at all, other than the technological connection, which is right now social media,
right?
Creating platform, which is cool.
Absolutely. Hey, Christine, how are you? Yes, Joe, we did have a a nice Sunday fun
What's
day.
up? Hey. Watch. Oh, I hope it's a good movie.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I got we definitely have, so we got a lot to talk about tonight. Aside
full itinerary tonight.
Aside from our guests, which I'm super excited about, more product. I think we maybe touched on some stuff last week when Jess was on. And how about that, dude? What a great episode with Jess. That was so cool.
Very cool. And again, props to her. First time live, busting out the ukulele tunes. It was stellar. What's up, Mike? What's up, Chris? Yeah. But she brought it, man. I mean, totally. I don't know. It changed my view of Sabbath songs. I got to tell you that. You can hear them.
It changed the what?
The way you could view a Sabbath song,
Yeah, right, dude. Like, I was so happy that she was so into doing that. And it was funny because she was talking about how Cody was had suggested, like, hey, why don't you do something different, So yeah,
man, it was so cool.
Yeah, she did an excellent job. Yeah, it was so good. So,
but it's brilliant,
it's exciting because you have this balance of like the artistic end of. I mean, actually, I don't even know if I can say it's a balance because we're bringing in people that are really just doing whatever it is they are in life. And I think it's just, I think emphasized because of what's going on. And that's what I appreciate about my close friends, the people that I come across with in everyday life that have this attitude they're able to maintain this positivity through all this bullshit that's going on. So that's what I really dig about it. It's super cool.
Well, like you said, that was a huge, reason for this forum was to get those people to try to continue to bring that energy together, and we can all continue to just keep pulling each other up.
We were killing, destroying the regular feed of news and bringing our own news into things.
Because that's what we do.
That's what we do. Right. It's so crazy, man. Like it was hilarious last week when we had when we were talking to Jess because she's so young, and here we are with our we're like fidgeting with our our old man glasses and stuff, and I think she definitely got a kick out of that. It was so funny, man.
I'm sure she did.
And actually, anybody, if you got anyone that has hopped on today, I don't know. I try to remind people that that you can jump on.
What's up, Dave?
And watch stuff on Facebook and also watch stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you talk about the differences in age, and I was trying to explain to my mom, like technologically what I do. She's like she'll be up because she goes to bed at like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or something like that, if that.
Sure.
So I say, yeah, Ma, I do the show. I'm having a good time. Me and Corey are having a good time. She's like, oh yeah, I see Corey on there. That's good. You guys get a chance to talk. I said, well, we talk to other people. We're just trying to be creative and help each other out. Oh, you talk to other people. It's not just Corey. No, we have some people. She didn't get it. And then I was trying to explain to her how she could find the episodes, and it was.
It's classic, man. Love it. Hey, what's up, Mark? Dave, thanks for the compliment, brother.
Yeah. The sun's got to keep us going, right?
That's it, man. You know it.
So, yeah, I'm super psyched. We have Gigi Deluxe is going to join us tonight. I feel honored and privileged, and I love the way that we can utilize the social media in a positive way, because obviously we can use it as a weapon almost, and it's really not a good thing. So to have this connection, keep it positive, and just especially now where the I don't know about you, but we've talked about before, just battling this isolation through the early times of lockdown and quarantine, and just using technology to kind of fight it. Which when I talked about it before, I fought technology for so long, and then I was like, well, you know what? I think I need to embrace this because I'm out of work. I'm home. I got a 5-year-old running around the house. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm not seeing my friends, and I need to connect with some people. So
keep playing the drums out live.
Playing the drums.
Yeah. No, but this is a great, like I say, it's a great way to just connect with people. And you know, like you were saying before with Gigi, it's somebody who you met, you know, again, very differently than some of the other guests that we've had on so far. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and so basically with I was, you know, with Instagram particularly,
Yep.
you kind of, once you've got a good amount of stuff that you follow, obviously the same like-minded interests are going to come up in your feed. Tattoos for me, obviously, motorcycles, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to see some of her posts that had some sideshow stuff, tattoo related things, and
Yep.
start following. And sideshow has always been an interest of mine since I was younger, going to a lot of tattoo conventions early on in the in the early '90s. That was probably my first like exposure to the sideshow was tattoo conventions, and I was like,
Yep.
tattoo at a convention, and you're like, damn, I got to break away from this tattoo because I want to see what's going on. This is awesome.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely, man. No,
So
you're right. Like I remember going to the one down in Philly with you guys at one time, and there was a ton of all of that going on. It was really cool.
Yeah, and there's obviously a lot more sideshow stuff happening. Well, not exactly right now, but within the tattoo community and beyond that too. Still
Yeah,
have
man.
classic stuff that's still alive. The Coney Island stuff and whatnot.
Yep, exactly. No question.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. When I was obviously doing getting stuff ready for, when I was bringing more product into the crush, kill, destroy stuff.
Yep.
Obviously with everything going on, and it was like masks. You're seeing masks coming at you.
Yeah.
Like, do I jump on this bandwagon? Do I do this? And I'm like, it made sense to do it. So I was getting, I had gotten a small batch of masks, and
Yep.
they went quick, and they were decent. I didn't know much about what I wanted to do as far as like washable masks, cotton ones.
Right.
Like, let me explore. Gigi had asked me if I had any more, and I had two left. They were from different distributors, and I really couldn't decide which one I was going to print on.
Right.
So I said, let me send both to you, and you let me know what you think, because I'm not really sure. And she was nice
Oh,
enough
that's cool.
to give me an honest opinion. And she was like, you know what? I'll do better than that. I was like, if you could just post something for me.
Oh,
And
yeah, man.
she was
Absolutely.
like, I'll do better than that. And I'll do a post with the mask on. So I was
that's killer.
very, very grateful for that.
Yeah. I think I remember seeing that puppy.
Yeah. And that's how we started chatting.
That's so cool. All through the brand. It's so great.
Yeah, that's the connection. So I think without further ado, I can kind of see Gigi running around. I don't know what she's up to, but I want to show a let me show you this the actual post that she ended up doing, which is super cool, and it's a little bit of a cut down version, just because we're when I bring these video things into this format, I got to kind of trim them down a little bit for size and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, man. No question.
So let me show you guys what she had done a while ago.
Sweet.
Hello, Gigi.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm good. Thank you again so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome.
Did you get everything done that you had to do? I saw you kind of running around. It's pretty wild.
I was open and it was dinging, and I was like, "Oh shoot!"
I was laughing.
There, so I'm good.
You get. I was laughing about the dog before. You were talking about the dog and one of the live things you did, and he was on the squeak toy, right?
Toy, that's hidden. That's gone.
Wow.
Just before
attention. He's right here. He's right on the ottoman, just eyeballing me and staring me down. Are you done yet?
just before I hopped on, I had to let my dog out too, and it was like 10 of, almost 5 of, and the dog goes outside in the dark, and I'm like, okay, and she's not coming back, and I'm like, all right, where's the dog? So I had to go out there. My dog's deaf, so I had to like shine my flashlight so she could find her way back. So
I'm afraid of on his own because we have hawks, and he's
yeah.
But he's a fat pomchi. He's like 8 pounds. We got him from when we got him from the pound. He's a rescue doggy.
Yeah.
All my rescues. I have 3 cats. Each are a 3-legged cat, and one's missing the leg. So I have one more to go. I'll have a full set. But he's a little pomchi, and when we got him, he was 4.5 pounds, and when we weighed him, he's 8 pounds.
Nice.
He's looking because he eats the cat food. He won't eat dog food anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's getting fatty cat food. He won't eat. It'll
Wow.
if I put bacon grease, he'll eat it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think I might too.
How are you guys today?
Doing well.
Doing well. So so I want to first of all ask you, because obviously we've chatted before about NOLA, which I love very much, and I had 2 very different experiences there. One was actually for my 40th birthday, and I won't tell you how long ago it was, and and then I actually revisited with my daughter, and it's like having a 4-year, actually she was 3 at the time, 3.5.
Yeah.
In tow. It's a very different experience being in New Orleans. But are you originally from? Have you been there your whole life? Are you from?
I was born in Puerto Rico and had juntas, and then at 5 I moved to Chicago, and I grew up in Chicago. And 3.5 years ago, I moved to New Orleans and permanent residence here. Now we got the house and everything. So.
Oh wow!
Love it here. I feel like it's definitely my home.
That's awesome. It's funny. We did some research looking around on the web, and I found this picture. I don't know if you could see it.
I can't.
It's like a goat kid that was in some. Yeah. That's it.
Before performing, I was doing fine art, and that's one of my sculptures. I always tell everybody he lives in the 9th ring of hell. So I'm like, trust fund person bought it and lives in Los Angeles.
Oh, no doubt. Wow.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I did to support myself before I got into performing and tattooing. I went from fine art, tattooing to sideshow.
Okay. Oh, right on. That's awesome. So
Very cool.
You were in Chicago for quite some time then, yeah?
I mean, I lived all over the country, but and then prior to moving to New Orleans, I was on tour on the road a good chunk of the year for, the first 3 years of my career. And that I enjoyed because I was, I love Chicago, but the Chicago that I love is not the same Chicago. So I don't want to say bad things about a city, but it just wasn't home to me anymore.
Right.
So I was comfortable with traveling more, but then I miss my kids. They held up for it pretty well, but I did a lot of traveling. So a lot of time in Chicago for the last 4 years, and then I moved here. And then I stopped touring as much, at least not for long periods of time. I would just go for a weekend. I'd want, go to Pittsburgh for the weekend, that sort of thing, but not gone traveling for 3 months at a time.
Yeah. That's got to be tough to be
corporate stuff and conventions.
Gotcha.
Private events, that sort of thing, staying local.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you were in Chicago, I think there's I think I was reading about was it a pretty famous or well-known club at the time was for younger people, right?
Yeah, we just lost a big part of history of Chicago and growing up, and he touched a ton of people's lives. His name was Dave Medusa.
Yeah.
But everybody knew him as Dave Medusa.
Yeah.
And opened an all ages club, and in the 80s. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and I mean, it was where, young teenagers could mingle with grown-ups, and it was kind of, not heard of. You couldn't do that now. But you know what, though? The funny thing is, personally, I never had any problems with creepy ass adults. Like the kids, I hung out with my peers. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
when I think about all the time that I spent there, I was with people my age. You look at adults and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, you wanted nothing to do with them. So I think it's just different, like the attitude of people growing up then to what people growing up now mingle more with grown-ups on a different level than back when I was a kid. When I was a kid, you kind of didn't want nothing to do, unless we were doing something sketchy. And that was like the only that we ever wanted any contact with grown-ups, is if we were doing something sketchy. But the thing, Dave, he was just always like, I don't want to say a father figure, because he wasn't. But he was like your big brother. Like, he looked out for you.
Mhm.
Was on hand, meaning like he interacted. He wasn't like, where you have that stereotypical image of the club owners, this scumbag up in a little room up in the back office counting money. That wasn't. Dave greeted people at the door. He treated everyone with respect and kindness, and always had like a huge smile on his face. He was just really sweet, and that was home for a lot of people, because at that time, there wasn't acceptance as there was now for gay community or drag community or goth or punk kids. We had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we had somewhere to go with Dave, and he had everybody there. It was when all the different genres and cliques and stuff could put their shit at the door and leave it there, and can go enjoy music. And that's really what it was. I loved it. And it's
awesome.
really to know that he's gone, because we interchanged every night with Goofy. He was an avid animal lover, and he gave so much money and time to animal rescues, and that was a big part of his life. He loved animals. And so basically every other night was saying goodnight to each other with like pygmy goats in onesies and things like that. And so that's us. And it's just weird, because I sent him this whole entourage of like this photo sessions of different random people doing glamour shots in the 80s, and they were so bad. So like guys with their shirts off and glamour shots at the mall with the mullets, and he never responded, and it was because he had passed that week. And
oh man, I'm sorry.
And so
my condolences.
So many people's lives, like he really he affected so many people in such a positive, wonderful way. And it's like sad that he's gone, but he's just such an amazing person, and he had such a wonderful wit and humor. He wouldn't want people to be like morose about it,
Yeah.
So
it's nice to hear that there's different places like that in areas all over the place, because we have the same experience. Even here, there was a club in the what was it called, the 90s or mid 80s.
Baby J's was one. That was a big one.
The Anthrax Club was the big one, but it was basically a hardcore club with, at one point, these pretty big name bands were coming through. Bad Brains and Henry Rollins played there.
Bands too, like Two Front Two and Ministry.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Shit. That's awesome.
That's killer.
Because you forget about that. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally remember. And they're just hanging out and playing at the club. Growing up, I don't remember that whole, like, at least not me, but probably because I still don't have that starstruckness. Like, I've never had that. And I think I did well when I would do like when I get booked for private events in Hollywood and celebrities' birthday parties, because I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I'm not struck by it. You pay me? Good. Is there food? Good. Starstruckness, but I just feel like it was different then, because the bands would come and hang out after. It wasn't this whole pretentious on a pedestal shit,
Yeah, right. Yep.
I felt like back then the bands were like really grateful that they had fans. You know what I mean? And they like part of the group, and they would come down and you'd see them, at the bar or whatever. But I don't think that they do that anymore. I don't know.
No,
not that I'm aware of.
Even talking about, like you're saying, it's not the Chicago that you grew up in or remember. It's you definitely see these kind of things happen in major cities. We have a friend, she's been in New York City for quite some time. It's the same thing. You see all this stuff just kind of start to change and stuff, and it's kind of sad because that nostalgia and that close knit community stuff, for whatever reason, that starts to separate people. I'm not sure what it is, but it's really a shame, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of it's gentrification. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I lived for a while, and I lived at Hotel 7, and that's where Amanda Lepore was my neighbor, and all the club kids lived there because we could pay weekly, you know, and it was talk to all the clubs or take a taxi. This is obviously the days when I drank. I don't drink anymore, but you know, you were a couple of bucks away in a cab to get back to your bed, and who can live in the village now? Nobody, you know. I went back there, you know, and it was all Starbucks and Gap, CBGB. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's not, I don't even recognize it at all. It's crazy. So I blame gentrification on like the attitudes and how people change and growing, because there's like, you know, it feels like there's no neighborhoods left, you know?
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
I grew up at a time of neighborhoods, and there are no neighborhoods no more. There's condos and people who come in and out, and
that's very true.
This is why I like New Orleans a lot, because people are definitely more like friendly, and it still feels more like old school neighborhood. You know, people, you ride in your car, the motorcycle, people wave at you. You don't know who they are. They're just sitting on the porch and they wave, and you know, you wave back. If that's it, the next change is over. You don't have to freak out or anything. Nobody's gonna go and like beg for you, or you know, beg from you or anywhere. They're just saying hi.
Yeah.
I think maybe because it's such a lively city, and there's something going on at any given time. It's like you have people are almost in a sense forced to be outside for one. So you have this like, hey, what's up? You know, that connection is still so much alive. So I really dig it, man.
Well, I mean, I'm even talking in the neighborhoods where it's a kind of away from the quarter, away from all this stuff. It's just the attitude of just like, you know, your neighbor. And that's one thing, like when all the rioting was going on, it didn't happen here because people grew up with those people who run the mom and pop stores, and they
got it
and know them. And, you know, their grandmother went to high school with them, and they remember that shit. You don't tell people where you went to college here. You tell them where you went to high school.
Yeah.
And who your people are. You know, that's the attitude. And it's even like the people that aren't that might still have a certain amount of graciousness, and that's what I love about this city.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Plus, it smells jasmine in nighttime, like it's heavenly. It's so good. Yeah, I love walking my dog at night. It smells beautiful, no matter where you are. It smells something like blooming. It's gorgeous.
That's great.
So you now, what was your earliest interest or kind of way you got introduced to sideshow stuff, and you know, at what point were you like, I'm really drawn to this stuff, I'm going to start looking into it, practicing it, or whatever?
Always drawn to the circus and sideshow. As a child, I loved it. Always loved it. And I always loved the costuming, loved the clowns. I loved everything about it. And as I got older, I learned more about sideshow, and it was just always a beautiful, you know, mysterious fantasy, and just in an escape. And I loved it. And I never thought that I would be involved in it because I never took the interest of, you know, learning the skill sets that it would require for me to perform. But I always had that same instinct, like being a club kid. I always wanted that fantasy and escape. You know, I grew up with drag queens and club kids, and we were always in costumes and dressing up. And that's, you know, just how I always was. And, you know, one of my favorite quotes is if David LaChapelle's a photographer. He says, "You want reality, ride the bus." And that's kind of how I feel about life, you know.
That's good.
Life, ride the bus. Don't come you know. And that's what I love about Sideshow, is that it takes you away into this fantasy world for the time there, and it shows you really like how the human body can go above and beyond what's expected, the capacity of what we're able to do. But I didn't get involved with it personally much later in life. When I first got sober, I started getting into archery before getting sober, but I didn't get serious about archery until after I got sober, and I had shit all to do once I stopped drinking.
Yeah.
So I basically lived at the archery range, and I was there so much they gave me a job.
Wow.
And I started working there and doing clinics, and I absolutely fell in love with it, and actually became quite good at it because I was there all the time, except Sundays. That's when it was just like, you know, it was just too busy for me. But this is Chicago Archery and Bow Range. It's still there. Love those people.
Hey, I think Michelle has a question for Gigi, Jim. Work at Dance and Fitness.
Oh.
Hi, Michelle.
I think that's our friend Michelle Wentz.
Oops, that's Chuck.
Oh, that's Chuck. There you go.
Ah.
I can't. Are you expecting me to read it? Because I can't read it. It's so.
Oh, you can't read it?
You said,
yeah, they're asking if you make your own costumes.
I do make my own. I'm sorry. It's like the print is.
Oh,
that's okay.
We got you. We got you.
We got
I
you.
have to phone this way, so it's everything is really small. I make all my costuming. I ordered a costume once, and I will never do it again. But what I do is, if I don't make it completely from scratch, I buy bases, and then I reconstruct the base, and then start from there. I order all my plumes, all my feathers from a place that specializes in ostrich feathers, and I get all my crystals. They're all glass, checked glass. That's what my costumes. They may be small, but they weigh like 20 pounds because it's all glass.
Oh wow!
No kidding.
Yeah. I don't know. Can I walk with this up and take you into like my dressing room or no?
Absolutely. Sure.
Let's take a peek behind the curtain. Why not? That's awesome.
It's a real wreck right now because I'm redoing my dressing room. It's my work room, my dressing room, everything else. I know you can't see my feet, but I still put shoes on. Is that funny? You hear me going up the stairs?
I was gonna say you look so much taller on screen.
I'm like, after I got I'm like, I know they can't see my feet, but whatever. I'm explaining the clunking up the stairs. Yeah.
Nice.
So let's see. I'm in my closet right now. This is my grandmother, where my other side's 100% Chinese.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Oh,
that's so cool.
Can I switch the camera around?
I think. Oh, we lost her.
Uh-oh. Where'd you go? Come back.
That's too funny. So we'll give her a minute. She's walking around. Oh, here she comes.
Oh, cool. That was quick.
Looking to see if I can switch the camera.
I see.
I don't think I can, but I don't know. Can you see the headdresses?
Yeah, actually, I could bring that up closer too. So, oh yeah.
Oh, wow, look at that. That's so cool.
Oh yeah, I saw some video of that. I was going to ask you about that one too. So it's so wicked looking. I love that skull.
It really is awesome.
And
gotta love it.
Yeah, it's the amazing Vanishing Gigi. Little added suspense.
She's got another. She's connecting.
Sorry.
Okay,
no worries.
Totally fine.
But yeah. Oh, this is. Oh, no wonder. Maybe if I plugged it in. All right.
We're touring NOLA right now.
Yeah.
Interior.
Dresses that I wear. I haven't worn the Marie Antoinette yet, but I redid that whole white wig, everything.
That's awesome.
This is my work table. I don't know if you guys could see it.
Yeah.
Sewing machine, right? Is that a sewing machine?
It's a sewing machine under there, but you can see like I get all the plumes, and this is how I make my headdresses.
Oh,
Whoa.
very cool.
So I have a white costume that I'm going to do next. Even though we can't be on stage, I'm preparing for it.
Sure, yeah.
All these different feathers and whatnot, and eventually they turn into some kind of concoction. I don't know if you can see that because it's black on black.
Yeah,
But-
that's like just so great.
And I have boxes and boxes underneath there of just thousands and thousands of rhinestones.
Wow.
But these things are super heavy. So this
Wow.
in, I'll bring it downstairs, and this way I can hold it up and you guys could see.
Sweet.
When you're doing like, so when you're wearing like more of the elaborate stuff, like big feathery stuff, what kind of stuff are you doing for performance? Because I can imagine some things would be pretty difficult, right? With the
I do
Yeah.
everything. I make sure that I get corsets that don't have steel bone wiring, because
Okay.
I back bends in those, and I do my back bend archery shot.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those on online. It's pretty wild.
That's how I got into to Sideshow. Is that I had a friend who was into it, went to Coney Island to learn Sideshow. She was interested. She was a fighter player, and she wanted to learn more of the skills. And she saw that I was doing archery, and I was doing like competitive, like it's called step back, meaning like long distance. But I was
Yep.
getting bored with it because I wasn't a gadget geek. I'm an instinctive shooter, which means I don't use. I love recurve. I do a recurve bow. I don't use compound, and I even use the recurve for my back bends now.
wow.
I'm the only one in Sideshow that uses a recurve. I use a 35-pound pull Hoyt, which I'll show you shortly. But
Sweet.
she got me into it because she's like, "Why don't you bring that to Sideshow? You know, and old school traditional Sideshow, knife throwing, Annie Oakley with the gun, shooting, that sort of thing." But this
Yep.
is one of those.
Oh,
and-
wow.
It's just like
Look at
thousands
that.
of rhinestones that I put on one by one.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
One by one. I sew appliques first underneath, and then I add all the rhinestones.
So the art
then-
was the archery the first thing that got you into Sideshow, that brought you into it? Oh, okay.
Awesome.
I have Gigi, I have a little snippet of, I think, stuff that you posted. I think it's from, and you could correct me, from the, what was it, the Stay Inside show? I forget what it was called. I'm sorry. What was the show that you guys did? It was pretty recently. Was it the Stay Inside show, or
I think.
it was pretty recent? There was I know there was a couple of performers.
I remember this. I don't. It was with the Atomic Doll, right?
I think so, yeah. But
Yeah.
there's a little snippet. I had to cut it down because it just doesn't fit within this format. But you could even, since you're talking about the archery, I'm just going to show this real quick, and it kind of stressed me out when I watched it. She's doing also the. Did you see that? Did you see the segment I played? You missed it.
Who, me?
Yeah,
One was I went to go get the bow so you can see what I shoot with.
I'm going to show you again just so you can tell us about it. Okay, maybe keep an eye on your phone. Like I watched that, stressed me out.
There, here in NOLA, he goes by oh my goodness, I just blanked out. Abby's a clown. I'm sorry. And
Oh,
Oh yeah.
he was my human target that day
wow.
because I'm officially retired. My daughter was my target. She started at 13 and she's so sick of it now. And so yeah, And she performed with me at Ripley's Believe It or Not. She performed with me black tie events.
Awesome.
Wow.
And
That's
she is
amazing.
a kid, honestly.
I mean, wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
I
she
saw it when.
shots. The balloon on the head actually is a rather easy shot. The ones that's more complicated is when I do the full body encasements with arrows where they stand straight with their arms up, and I do rows of arrows on each side of their torso and body. And if it's a man, I usually have them hold the balloon between their legs and then pop it in with that.
Can we do a virtual one? I'm okay with that.
We can pretend.
I could totally handle a virtual.
Wow, that's just amazing. That's amazing.
A Hoyt, and I love this one. My favorite. It's been my baby. His name's Artemis, and I'm the only one that uses a recurve bow. Most people you see that do any sort of thing either uses a child recurve or a toy. When they do the conversion, they either use a toy or a child's bow, and it's always compound, or it's a little kid. It's like the little kids kind of like simulation of a recurve, but it's little. Or they use the compound bows when they're actually doing more of like the danger acts.
What's the difference between the compound bow and that?
Huh?
What's the difference between a compound bow and the recurve?
So the difference with a compound bow is that there's a lot of forgiveness because you have two cables at each end. So like you could hold a shot and you can hold it for much longer because let's say it's a 35-pound pull like this, you're actually pulling like 25 pounds because the cables are doing a lot of the work for you. There's no forgiveness with the recurve. When you pull, you got to shoot because there's nobody, you're holding it. It's just your muscle and the bow.
Oh wow.
And you become one with your bow. And with the compound, there's a lot more forgiveness and giveaway than using a recurve. But I feel that by using recurve, I'm a much better archer than had I just stuck with using a compound. Of course, compound archers, there's a lot of amazing archers that shoot compound, but for what I do, this is what I like to use. I feel the accuracy is much more precise, and I feel more in tune with my gear using
and I'm sure the people that are holding the balloons appreciate that too.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this out right now.
Okay. That's crazy, man. I definitely like when I watched that video, that dude, the expression on that dude's face, like it's like,
I mean, it's really something. It's really impressive.
I'm being my target ever. Ever. And he's just like he was such a good sport about it all. And he's just like, oh my God, I didn't expect it to be so fast. And that's what I tell people. I said, it's one thing with knife throwing, there's a continuum with the blade. So by the time it hits you or hits the target, it's not the same. It's not the same as an arrow. The arrow never slows down until it hits the target.
Wow.
There's no rotation, nothing. It's full force until it hits its point. Wow. So it's really different because it's super fast, and that's what freaked him out because he was like, "Oh, I didn't know it goes so fast, and it's so loud." When that thunk hits, they're like,
"Oh God!" And then you're wondering if it's like on you.
He put his life in my hands, and he had full trust in me, and It was awesome. And honestly, his reactions made the video. I think they're way more entertaining than what I did.
It's interesting because you're also a tattoo, so it's like you just said, it's someone's basically they're putting their trust in your hands. This is obviously a lot more dangerous than a tattoo, but it's kind of funny that you said that. This guy is like, complete trust.
It is, and you know what? If they don't have that trust, like I say, someone, it's funny because when I look for a human target, everyone's like, "Oh, I'll do it." But if the first thing they ask is, "Well, what happens if you hit me?" You're out. You got to go because you're bringing the wrong juju to the table. If you already think that shit from the get-go, you're the wrong person for me because you have to have complete trust because I'm not going to fuck up.
Yeah.
There's no fuck up.
Yeah.
So there's a iota of a reason. I don't care if it's a windstorm or whatever. There's no room for error.
No.
So I mindset, there is no room for error. That I don't believe that shit happens. No, I go out of my way to make sure nothing happens except the way I want it to happen, and that's the way I need my human target to think. And they come over, hit me, nothing, because you're never going to do it. So bye.
Yeah, no, makes sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah, you have to have a mindset. It's just, it's that saying, like they say, if you think about it, you're going to be in a car accident and you keep thinking about it. Yeah, that's what's going to freaking happen. You have to have that proper mindset in everything you do in life, not just what I do for a living, but you got to take that everywhere in every aspect of life, because we forget, people don't realize the strength of our thoughts and how being really manifests itself.
Absolutely.
Without us knowing or with us knowing, but it will manifest itself. So it's better to this and be aware of those things. So I think that's what I tell in what I do with Sideshow, because I truly believe in that, and I trust in myself, and I trust in what I'm bringing, and that I know that I do the right things and I have that right mindset. It's all going to go. I envision, whenever I do a show, I envision everything from beginning to end in my mind. I see my target going up to the stage. I see my target bowing down. I see them walking off and me moving on to my next set. I see all that shit happen. I see me getting paid at the end. I see it all before I even get on stage.
And a lot of people tend to do that. They visualize everything, that whole thing. Like athletes, they always think about the game in their head, playing the game in their head. So it makes total sense, because like you said, you're not planning for failure or anything. You're going right in there, getting it done, doing the best you can, and getting it through it. So it makes total sense.
It does make sense. It's like art. When you're doing tattoo, you keep doing that same drawing over and over. You do that same lettering over and over. You keep working on making that crispy line over and over. That's how you get it. You do it by repetition, not only physically, but you do it repetition in your mind, and then you get that hand-to-mind connection.
Absolutely.
Anything that we do always starts in the mind.
Absolutely.
It's a complete creative visualization. That's a good point. And I've experienced it myself too. I can see a tattoo finished before it's finished. And I've already worked through the whole process of actually executing the tattoo. So it makes absolute sense.
Yeah, Anthony has a question, Jim.
Oh yeah, someone's got a question for you.
That's an artist and someone who just does that just to make a buck.
Right, flash in the pan. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Anthony wants to know, he's curious about your range performing the archery stuff. How far away typically from a target? What's the maximum length that you would be away from someone comfortably to shoot?
Usually about 15 feet. You got to understand, most stages are,
True.
So the problem with most is that I don't have enough room to do a full draw. So I have to make sure I have a minimum of, 13 feet. I have shot further distance, and it's on the internet. I did it for WGN TV, and it was a morning show, and they put me about 20 feet from my target, and I was totally comfortable with it because I was still doing a lot of long distance shooting. But to me, the perfect distance is about 15 feet because it's close to my target. I don't want to pull too hard because you don't want to put the arrow right through the target either. So, there's a happy medium. But the thing is, if it's too short of a stage, that's an issue. It's a bigger problem if I don't have enough space than if I have too much space.
Did you when you started doing the sword swallowing early on? I mean, that's pretty wild. Like, was there at one point? I think you did have a kind of oh shit moment that I've read about. This is probably quite a few years back, with the sword swallowing.
First year training, I really didn't have a mentor, which was not good, and I recommend that for anyone. I was consulted as to how it's kind of done, and but the thing is, I started Sideshow, so I wanted to learn the other skill sets. I was learning fire, I did nail bed, glass walking, blockhead, that sort of thing. But I wanted to, I'm an overachiever. If I'm going to do something, I want to go for like the golden ring. So I want the hierarchy of Sideshow is, the danger acts and sword swallowing, but the top of Sideshow are the natural born freaks. They rule. They are what we highly respect, and they will always be our crown.
Yeah.
And then comes the working acts, and in working acts, that's what I am. I'm a working act in Sideshow.
Okay.
I wanted to have the hierarchy, the top billing act is sword swallowing. So I wanted to learn how to do that. I didn't have a teacher, so I was just learning as I went, and my ego took over common sense, which it was a huge lesson, which I never forgot. I never go rule because it will fuck you over every time. I pushed the sword down and ended up tearing my esophagus in 3 places. So are here. They had to cut open my neck.
Wow.
And pull my esophagus back together. I was in the ICU and almost died. So the thing,
God.
Sword swallowers, you usually don't die. There are sword swallowers that broke on the spot, but we don't die from the actual cuts or tears or rips. We die from the infection, and infection sets in very fast in soft tissue. Obviously, there could be worse accidents because sword swallow, it's going in our esophagus, through our esophagus, past our heart, between our lungs, and into our stomach. So it's touching a lot of sensitive things there. But what I did was I tore my esophagus, and at first, it was a sharp pain, and I kind of just I froze, and my daughter was filming at the time.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Better. So I text my friend, and I'm like, this happened. Is there blood? No. There was a little blood, but how do you feel now? I'm like, I feel kind of okay. What was happening was my endorphins were kicking in because I had caused so much trauma inside my fucking body. I went to the grocery store.
Oh my God.
Yes. And as we're getting towards the checkout, the second wave of pain came in, and it was unbearable. And I felt like I was going to vomit. So I gave my daughter the credit. I went into the bathroom, splashed cold water, and I told her, pack a bag as soon as we get home. I have to go to the hospital. So I managed to drive home. And at the time, I was still living in a building in Chicago where my ex-husband lived below me, and he's an ER doc. And I told my daughter to tell him if he could drive me to the hospital without talking shit, then he could drive me. Otherwise, call me.
Oh, man.
Uber. I'm joking. He actually drove me. But he didn't give me the whole lecture of all this shit. But, I got stitched up. I was in there for about, 9 days in the ICU. I couldn't eat, drink, have ice, nothing. And it was probably the most painful thing I ever had to endure in my life. And that's why I tell people, like, don't do the when you're taking things on. You have to do what you know is right. I knew my throat was swollen. I had been forcing it, and I went for it anyway. And I learned my lesson and to listen to my body, and that's what I do, and I've been good ever since. But it's very common there's mostly all sword swallowers out there has had one accident or another. Dan Meyer, he's one of the world's best sword swallower and a good friend. He's had several accidents, and he's still alive and doing his thing. And Chris Steele, who's an amazing performer, and his wife Elena, I love them both. They're considered the most loved sideshow couple in America. He had an accident recently, like last year. But the thing is, we love what we do, and we accept that that is a possibility with what we do. But for us, we try to avoid that, obviously. But it's not enough to keep us not wanting to do it. We up and we learn from our mistakes, and we keep going forward, and we do what we love.
There you go.
I mean, there's got to be that element of that risk and fear from the audience point of view too. Is there any kind of rush when you do performance and nothing bad is happening, and it's like, I mean, we're sitting here watching, and you're like,
Yeah, freaking out.
Whoa!
I
It's like,
the room, especially with the archery act, and they can't watch. It's too much for them. They the room. I've had a couple of people leave with the sword swallowing, not so much, but with the archery act, I've had more. I more often I've had people actually leave the room or tell me like I had to leave, I couldn't watch it, and it wasn't like they were mean about it or anything. They're just like I just couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Right.
And I had to leave, and I know it's a high anxiety, and but that's part of the thrill. That's sideshow,
yeah,
being on the edge of their seat, you're not doing your job.
Right.
definitely. So you've been what's the furthest you traveled? Do you do like, have you done like international stuff or out of the States and whatnot?
I was hoping that maybe this would have been the year to get to Europe, but oh well.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in Canada. But I traveled all over the U.S. back and forth several times, in many different cities and different events, and I have not made it to Europe yet, though. You know what? It's hard. I have a lot of stuff. It's like being a drummer. If the swords are easier to carry on, like I would check my swords, and fortunately, like once I switched to recurve, I didn't have to go through like TSA anymore to compound, because when I never did my straight on shots with a compound. I only did my back bend, but then I developed enough strength to do the recurve bow with my back bend. So I didn't use the compound anymore because you can't break it down. So once I was able to do that, it made life a little easier if whoever was booking me was willing to pay to have a target built wherever I was arriving.
Right.
But it was a pain in the butt because I always had to go through TSA and why you have these arrows, why are there swords in your bag, what are your plans, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a performer, so it was a lot of explaining. And I still kind of get that when, they're like, well, where are you, going with this? But not so much that I could check the bag. So they don't complain about the recurve being in its case. But it was a lot more complicated to travel when I had the compound for my back bend shot. But it's a lot of money to like tell people like, well, you have to pay for my luggage. I have swords. I have this, and a lot. What they want you, they'll pay for it.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people have, and that's been, I consider myself very fortunate that people enjoy having me perform for them so much that they're willing to take care of those type of expenses and my fee, and they really enjoy what I do. But it's a lot. That's why I say it's like the drummer. You got to pack where everybody else could take their little mic or guitar, and
I get it. I play drums, and it's the plight of my gigging experience. It's like packing shit up. And my mom was always like, "Couldn't you have picked a smaller instrument? Could you play like the piccolo or something?" I'm like, "No, this is what I want to do."
Hey, this is what I want, and there I am. But that's why I made a styrofoam target, a thick one, because if anything I have, I want it to be manageable. That's why, like, my nail bed is in the corner over here. I don't know if you guys could see it, but my human target.
Oh, cool.
He's also an amazing craftsman, and he made me my target. I'm going to paint my logo in the middle. That's why it's open there.
That's
but it's
awesome.
A nail bed. Let me see if I can open it up, maybe take a peek. But I want it to be where I could actually carry it on my own, because you never know if you have somebody there or not to carry shit.
Look at that.
Can you see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's
wow.
And it's I'm short, so this is almost full length for me.
That's crazy.
That's so awesome. Cool.
But time will tell. Europe's never out of the question. But I love my audience here too. They love what I do, and I have some of the best people. Like, fan base is incredible. They're so good to me and so sweet and so loyal. I have people that like in Plymouth, like Plymouth is this tiny little town out of like maybe an hour from Detroit. And I'm still these people, and they saw me perform like 6 years ago. And they'll follow me and, send notes and say hi. And it's really wonderful, like how loyal my fan base is.
That's
and
great.
I really appreciate what I do. I'm so grateful.
So you did a couple of festivals, and I saw a video of one of the festivals. I don't know how long ago it was. It looked like it might have been a couple of years back, and there was a famous musician who looked like, I don't know how you connected with him, and he pulled the sword out for you. And
Mario.
Yeah. I want to, do you mind if I show that clip real quick? It's like a couple seconds.
Sure. I thought because I didn't know if I was not supposed to say his name or something.
No, I want to ask you how that kind of came about. I thought it was pretty cool. And not
so wild.
I'm personally a way bigger fan of Gigi Deluxe than I am of Dave Navarro. No offense, Dave. I like Dave Navarro. But, so how did that happen?
I was hired to perform at Danzig's Blackest of the Black Fest, I think it's called.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's in the middle of like nowhere in California, and literally nowhere. I had to drive for like 15 minutes to get phone reception.
Wow.
And that whole like thing. It was interesting. They set my cloak on fire by accident because Danzig made, I guess he does some kind of comic book or something or the other, and he made this like motif like crown thing, and they wanted me to have photographers that he wanted me to wear this crown in this bathtub of blood, but in a cloak, okay? But they didn't tell me other cloak. I had this red velvet cloak, and they're like, "Oh, wear your cloak. This is my personal cloak, okay?" And around this bathtub are hundreds and hundreds of candles, okay?
Yeah.
So they bathtub, and I have to have this thing on my head. I'm in this blood, and the people that are like adjusting my cloak behind me for the photographers accidentally put one end of it in a fucking candle, and I'm like. And I'm trying to be professional, and I got like a big hair on and everything. I'm like, I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. And it's like, oh shit. And my friend's husband was there. Well, it wasn't her. He wasn't at that time. He happened to have a super soaker in his hand, and he's like super soaker. Dunked myself in this pool of blood because, like, duh, it's water. It's not. Oh, it's not blood,
Oh my God.
Bought a new cloak for me, okay? But yeah, so that's the story. But Dave was very nice, Yeah. I never watch anything of his. We don't own a TV, and I'm not big on like watching TV too much.
Yeah.
So I'll watch like things on Netflix on my phone when my daughter's like, "Oh, you should watch this," kind of thing. But I refuse to have a TV in the house, and I never saw like Ink Master or any of that. So he was just really nice, and he was hanging around. He does I met him because he does the hooks.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I forgot about that.
The people that were performing their hook suspension were there performing as well, and he was going to do a suspension, and he was back hanging out. I said, "Do you want to pull a sword out?" And I did it because my friend is a big fan of his, and I knew it's the same thing. Like I have video of Bret Michaels. I'm not a big fan of him at all. I took some pictures for her, because she's into these people. So I did that for her, and she was very happy.
That's awesome.
And he was very nice about it. He's like, "Sure, what do I do?" And I explained him, I do all the work. You just hold the handle, and it's very easy. And he was a good sport about it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
what a memory.
He was much nicer than Bret Michaels. He was kind of a twat.
I agree with you. Definitely.
Yeah.
Dude, I has been. I'm sorry. I'm being very mean now. But
no.
Be grateful that at this point of your juncture in life, you should be happy somebody wants a picture with you, dude. Okay. And then I have opened up for him again at Sturgis doing fire, and I was just like, it's you again.
Oh man. Well, he's coming on to talk to us next week, so I don't know how I'm going to explain this. So
No, that's not true.
So I have on a serious note, I have you actually already touched on this, but I just there's a quote. I think I came across it from it was an article from Media Drum World maybe a while back, but I really think it's great, and it kind of rings true for the crush, kill, destroy sentiment. So I want to read it. You said it, but this is the full quote. You said, "You can accomplish the impossible. Anything you set your heart and mind to, you can do. Swallowing swords, overcoming addiction, whatever changes you want in your life are within your grasp. It all starts in the mind," which I think I completely appreciate, and it's such a strong point, and it's something that the crush, kill, destroy sentiment is really built on. I don't know if you ever had a chance to jump on the website. The about page is based on it's the crush, kill, destroy kind of comes from my father as a role model, and it was basically just this complete mindset. No matter what it was what you're doing, it's like you like you say, creative visualization, putting your mind in another place, in a better place, in a positive place, and thinking and realizing that you can pretty much do anything you want. So I appreciate that quote. I think it's super powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I truly feel that way. I mean, I've come in the past 6 years. I am a completely different person than what I was doing, a completely different thing from what I was doing, and I'm better for it. And I still have lots of room to grow. Trust me, personally, and as a partner and as a wife and as a mom. There's always room for growth as a friend.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Realize it, and I do try, and I try to correct my behavior, and I try to always be present and aware of what I'm doing and how I treat the people I love and that sort of thing. And, and it's not bad. We're going to fuck up. We're human.
Yeah.
We're going to fuck up. And the thing is that we forgive ourselves for fucking up. We forgive others for fucking up to a certain point. And we move forward, and either they come along for the long haul, or it's got to dump some loads off the bus and keep going,
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of being aware of that and forgiving yourself and moving forward and learning. If you don't learn from where you fuck up, then you're never going to grow, and you're never truly sorry for those fuck ups.
Yeah.
But a lot of people always hard on themselves for like screwing up, whether it's like their diet or working out, or even when they're trying to get sober off drugs and alcohol. It took me many years to try to get sober. And then I finally got it in my head, like it clicked. And I think that's a big issue, that people expect so much perfection, and it's not about perfection. It's about the progress. It's about how you go along in this progress to get to the point that you want to be at.
Yeah, and you made I've been reading a lot of your posts on Instagram, because I really like your vibe and your message, and you say a lot of that. And one of the things you said, I actually made a screenshot of it because I thought it was really profound. I won't read the whole thing, but you just made a reference to it, that perfection is a lie in that quote. And I agree. And you also referenced a little bit about obviously social media and everybody hiding behind that platform to try to create this persona of perfection that just doesn't really exist. I mean, we all fuck up, like you said. And the goal is to learn from it, grow, take from it what you can, and keep moving forward. And, I appreciate it. A lot of the stuff that you have out there is really inspirational. And I really enjoyed reading it.
Yeah, it's just, I feel that like, with the things that I've been through, it would be silly to pretend that they didn't exist. That I wasn't a raging fucking psychotic alcoholic and drug user. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was that it's because of who I am now, and I never try to paint like pretty picture of, oh, I was always like, I have it so together. I don't have it together. I'm married. Being married is fucking hard. It's hard. Relationships are hard.
Yes, they are.
It drives me up the fucking wall, and I'm trying.
It's all we can do.
Yeah.
people paint such this picture of perfection, and I don't want people to think like, oh, she lives in this sweet house in New Orleans and blah blah blah, and everything's so perfect, and her makeup's always on point. You know what? It's because it's my job to look, and that's part of the package.
Yeah.
You know, and also I do enjoy it. I do enjoy doing makeup and all that. But the thing is that it's not about that. Like, if you don't look perfect, doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. You don't have to have a certain image to live up to. You can still be amazing in any package. And
Absolutely.
I think people have it so hard because they're so blindsided by all the media that they're just, from TV to our phones and everything, telling you if you like this, there's something wrong with you. And that's the biggest fucking lie ever. Because
Absolutely.
Amen.
There's no the only blueprint we have as human beings are that we need the same fundamental things. And then everything after that is a fucking free for all.
Yeah.
That's true. No, I agree with that statement. Yeah, that's 100% right.
It is. It's a great point, especially for what, like you said, what it is you do with the entertainment and stuff like that. It's funny because even as a tattoo artist, especially with the media now, we have a lot of the shows and stuff, and it is disillusionment. Like I was cracking up because at one point, the old neighborhood I lived in, I owned a house in another town, and I knew some of the neighbors, and a tattoo artist moved in to a couple houses down. They were like, hey, did you hear there's another tattoo guy in the neighborhood? And I was like, that's great. And they're like, we're going to have like a tattoo war because that's what they see on TV. And I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm starting a new show. It's going to be tattoo reality show. It's going to be like me, like mowing my lawn and like picking up dog shit, waving to the guy down the street. He's like, trimming the hedges. We're like, this is that's the reality of our life. It's like, we're all essentially the same, behind the scenes. We're doing what we have to do,
That's it.
Yeah.
So funny.
I know. So much stuff. It's hilarious.
I want to ask you about if at one point you're doing some schooling. I don't know if are you still doing any like studying with you were doing some heavy shit, weren't you? Like heavy schooling or no?
Oh, it's just like I was thinking of going back to school and go back and for the one semester, and it was just like my daughter had just moved to New Orleans, and I'm very, very close to children. I have twins, a boy and a girl.
Oh, nice.
I'm super close to them. They're 20 now, and I waited 2 years to have my daughter move here, and I'm still waiting for my son, but my son sees me way more often this year, thank goodness. But it just felt like I was missing limbs, Yeah. And she finally came, and I had no time for her. I was like in school all the time, studying and stressed out, and she was in school, and I couldn't be there for her as a parent or a friend. She's like my best friend. And my husband, he's older than I am, and I'm thinking I never get to see him. He's in the restaurant business, so he's never, I'd go to school during the day. He's, when I would get back from school, about half hour, and he had to go to the restaurant. And then by the time I finished my degree, he'd be like, retired and 70 something. And then I'm going to go to a job that I'm going to be probably at for 13 hours a day. No, I didn't. I was not willing to my family time for it. And I had, been living by my own rules for so long that I was just like, I love science and I love education, but I just was not ready to like sacrifice the time with my family.
And it was forensic pathology that you were studying?
I was going back for forensics. And
that's awesome.
As much as I love it and I'm so intrigued with it, it wasn't for me. I like having my time to do what I love in my craft, and I like being there for my family.
That makes sense. That's number one. I think, especially that's one thing I learned now with having the time off during the pandemic, being at home, forced closed, and spending this time with them. It was like an eye opener for you. It's kind of always in the back of your head, like, man, I wish I had more time for this is my daughter, my wife. I want to spend time with them. And then it's like, here it is. The world stops and we're forced and we're home. And I'm like, man, I haven't sat down at 5 o'clock with my family and had dinner in 25 fucking years because I'm tattooing from 1 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. It's like I made dinner, we're together, and it was incredible. And it actually made it more difficult now that we're phasing back into work a little bit.
Sure.
To really adjust to that mentally. I'm like, you know what? I'm having like grief from the time I had with my family. I'm like, I really embrace that time and I love it. So it's a weird transition.
But that's awesome because you learn the difference between just like spending time with people, your loved ones, to like something of substance, like really being present.
And that's it. Substance. That's exactly what you said. You know, it's perfect. Substance. That's what the real deal stuff.
And being in the moment.
Appreciating it, you know, and I'm still learning. I get, you know, frustrated with things, but it's like I need to kind of snap out of it and stop whining because I know I have it better than most, so I have nothing to bitch about. But you know,
it's all about perspective.
Yeah, totally. You know, it's like the stage will come back, you know, entertainment will come back, and I got to put perspective. And, you know, I'll give myself a couple of days or whatever if I need it. And, you know, my little pity pot with my little violin. And then it's like, okay,
we're entitled.
Fuck up and do something else, you know?
That's it.
There's a, on my webpage as well, there's a line about Crush, Kill, Destroy, and it says, Crush, Kill, Destroy is a manifestation of ideas from those of us traveling on a different path with our best foot forward. And I think that really describes you. You have so many facets of creativity and art. You're talking about your family and just keeping things real. And it is, like you said, we're going to fuck up from time to time, but you have this mindset where you are putting your best foot forward. And that's what I'm inspired by, to come up with the mottos for the t-shirts, connect with friends that are like-minded, and to just continue to bring that positivity out there. So I appreciate that. I think it's awesome.
Well, you know what I like about you guys is that I was talking about this to my daughter's half brother in the car. He's total sweetheart. I love this kid when he visits. But I said, you know, it's these two guys from the tattoo community, and it's like you would never expect this kind of dialogue from them, but yet they're opening up the conversation of, oh my God, philosophy to like tattoo communities. Not saying that they're ignorant, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, you know, let's be real here. Philosophy and like the thought process of how we are with our families and all that stuff on a sentimental level is not common dialogue for you and by community and all that shit. It's just not.
That's fair. That's a fair statement.
You know, and I love that you guys are putting that on the table. You know what I mean? That like,
thank you.
You're opening that dialogue that, you know what, it's okay if you look like this and this kind of like, you know, genre, to have feelings and to fucking think about the philosophy of life and how you want shit, you know. And I love that because you're making it acceptable and you're opening the table to that. And I love it.
It's funny too, because with the concept itself, it's like, here it is, you know, when these ideas just pop in my head, I take all these notes, I talk to people like yourself, I hear things, and I say, oh man, that's a good idea for whatever it is, whatever I need to see, you know, as a constant reminder, whether it's a t-shirt or a sticker or something like that. So when the branding was starting to come into fruition, it was like, it still had just enough of this like hard edge to sneak into that kind of community, like you're saying, the tattoos. But then there's these messages that come through. It's like, all right, there's this a little bit more thoughtful than I realized. So it is, it's honest and edgy.
Okay, for people to realize, like, you know, it's not all touchy feely. It doesn't have to be fucking rainbows and kittens and shit. You know what I'm saying? You can be who you are and still talk about your emotions and your thoughts about what's going on with you in the world. And it's acceptable. You know, it makes you human and it makes you conscious.
That's beautiful.
Badass and still fucking have feelings, you know?
Yeah. This is that's a great segue. I want to show this new idea. I think this might become a shirt. I'm still deciding on it, but this design is there's some trippy shit on it, but I wish the shirt looked like that. But So I'll tell you, if you can't really see it that great, Gigi, it's basically this happened in a conversation that Corey and I were having, and it was a discussion that he was having with people at work, right, Corey? Maybe your
Yep,
boss.
that's
So
right.
it was kind of like they were trying to they were doing this surface stuff to try to maybe solve a problem or move forward or something, and it was like it was all this boxed in stuff. And Corey says to his boss, he's like, you know what, it's still okay to think, and it doesn't cost us anything. And I was like, huh, yeah, all right. So instead of just moving around the world like this, I was like, hey, that's a great t-shirt idea. So that on the shirt, if it comes into an actual shirt, it says thinking remains free. And it's something that we forget about. We don't have to be pushed this way and pushed that way. And this is exactly what you're saying. So we have the ability to think about stuff, to make decisions for ourselves, and to move in a positive direction without thinking that we have to be in this box. I need to be perfect, and I need to be a badass tattooer, and I need to be pretty, so that's where the idea for that came from.
Yeah.
So that's
one thing that I think people have trouble accepting. You can be multifaceted. You don't have to be fucking one thing. You could be a million things. You know,
absolutely.
It doesn't make you fake. It means that you have other aspects to your personality than the cardboard cookie cutter bullshit,
Yep.
So,
100%.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. When we get brought into, you're around a lot of smart people, or people that, are in your craft or whatever you're doing, whatever your profession. And that's the thing. You're not brought in to become a robot. I mean, you have a brain, like you're saying, and that mind could be very creative. And that's the thing, like yourself, with your costumes, and you were a tattoo artist, still doing tattoos. I saw the cover up you did on yourself, obviously Jimmy and his whole crew, it's just an amazing thing to be able to just be creative, and that's free. Like if you can just think and set your mind to something, you can just about achieve anything, like we were talking about earlier. Totally agree.
So you have I think in talking to you, and you've kind of touched on it, you definitely, it seems like you're an advocate for animals and stuff. You have the one-legged cats and whatnot right at the house.
Yeah.
You have are you also, is there any, do you have any kind of like it seems like you have a little bit of some kind of spiritual belief, and I don't know if it's the right word to use, but if it's like a Wiccan, or is that correct? No.
Wiccan. It's more like just Brujera, but I don't follow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Any kind of like format, or I'm not part of a coven or any of that shit. It's just very naturally using day-to-day things and visualization and things that I relate to, that remind me of my goals and my intentions, and that's really what it is.
Yeah, I was curious because I
with a fun name.
Yeah, I have I have a coworker who's into and I won't even try to pronounce it, but even you just saying that kind of made me about that. He's pretty serious about his practice, but he does like more like ritualistic tattoos, and he advertises that. So if you have a chance, jump on the Lucky Soul tattoo site. Gary, there's a bio about Gary, and I think what he practices is on there, but it's neat because there were some similarities. I think some of the symbolism or drawings I saw were almost connected with some of his stuff. So I was just curious about that.
Basically, the way that I go about it is that humans are really amazing in putting worldwide all these wonderful things to inspire spirituality, to inspire you're wanting to reach for something deeper, that spirituality,
Yeah.
And I feel just because I'm here, I have the privilege of picking and choosing what speaks to me and leaving the rest. And that's kind of how I do practice, is that, I do it with, people say, kitchen witch, and with the foods. Like, I'll never eat food from somebody I know who doesn't like me, ever.
Yeah.
You want cookies, I know you hate me. That shit's going in the bin as soon as you turn around. I make something for you. It's like, I never give food to somebody I don't like.
Yeah.
But if I with good intentions, you know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
That kind of everyday, day-to-day things that you do. And then obviously there's bigger things when, it coincides with certain moods and certain like planetary things. I'm not huge on astrology, but the moon has a huge effect on us because we're mostly water and
Yeah.
liquid in the ocean.
Well, you said it perfectly, because I, like myself too, I actually spent a good amount of years studying Buddhism with a teacher. And really the bottom line, without getting even too heady about everything, it was all about your intentions. And that's what, and that went into everything we did. Just like you're talking about, baking food for someone or something like that. It was just, bottom line was our intentions. If I was motherfucking this dude, but I was maybe trying to help him out or something, my heart wasn't there. My intentions weren't pure. So it's all about intentions. Absolutely.
I can't stand it when people are like, well, he had good intentions. Did he really?
Did he really?
It's like everybody in their core knows what their intentions are. And, it comes out in the end. No matter how you want to dress it up or hide it or bury it, your true nature will always be at the end. It's inevitable. So it's always better to know what your intentions are and to be truthful with yourself. And that's I think the hardest part with most people is getting honest with yourself. And once you start that's when shit starts happening.
I agree, 100%.
So I was curious. Would you be willing to do a sword swallow for us?
Do you have a particular sword you wanted me to swallow, or it don't matter?
I don't.
Do you have? There was one in a video in the promo, the serpentine.
I do.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the serpentine looked so cool. I think that's what you might call it. It was like a curve.
It's pretty badass looking.
Put this back.
It is pretty badass looking.
Here, I'm gonna do a quick ad I got coming out on social media, and I'm gonna let you get prepped. It's like 18 seconds, okay?
I'm gonna take the water and then I'll do it.
Thank you so much. This is a new ad, guys, coming out. Social media, keep an eye out for it. Yeah, you should see that pretty soon. Facebook and Instagram, and I think I'm going to run that spot in a couple other places too. So
that's awesome.
And the thing I like about that is that it's real people that have actually gotten some stuff from CKD. So I don't want to put some thing off the internet that I just spliced together. It's real people,
That's the best part, man. Right in action, everybody wearing the gear, supporting the brand. It's awesome.
Oh man.
Oh, there it is. Oh man.
I was just wiping it down with alcohol.
So is that stainless steel?
Oh yeah. I had this made by
that's so crazy.
It's Ian Brown, and I love the handle.
Oh, that's a cool sword.
It's stainless steel. Has some nice thickness to it. He makes them for me in England.
Wow, that's so cool.
So, just tell me when.
All right, I'm gonna get
some yours. I think unless you have a drum roll, Jim. Do you have a drum roll?
I got some music.
Oh, music! Here we go. Oh my god! Woo! Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
bro!
Oh, man, thank you so much.
That is just amazing stuff.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, it's
oh my god,
so awesome.
It's just amazing to me. That is just unreal. Awesome.
I know it's a little tough for you to see. There's there is a bunch of comments, and it's the shock and amaze thing that you would expect, which is so awesome,
just incredible.
Oh, is it real? Oh, it goes into the handle. Okay.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of sad that people just assume it's fake, and it's like, well, you know, it's up to you. But this stuff is real, and it's been around for 4,000 years. I didn't
Yeah,
make
incredible.
it. You know,
It's amazing.
this has been around for 4,000 years. I'm just carrying it on, and I'm privileged. I feel privileged to be, you know, one of a handful of women worldwide.
Yeah, it's incredible.
You know, there's only like about 100 of us worldwide.
Wow.
And there's even fewer women. I mean, literally, it's a handful of women that do this worldwide.
Yeah.
And I feel it's an honor and privilege to be able to carry the tradition on.
Yeah. There's so much lost.
Amazing.
I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that there's so much tradition lost in many old trades and practices. So it's nice that you are carrying this on. I see the tattoo industry change. I've been tattooing for 25 years, and some of it is lost, but there's still people that want to uphold that and keep the traditions going. So it's really great that you're doing that. It's so awesome.
I mean,
Yeah. Unreal.
Keep up the traditional acts and to have that traditional feeling with the costume, because even if you were in a dusty little dirt bowl in, you know, the middle of nowhere, the circus sideshow was always, you had the costumes, you had the glam, you know, you always had, and I try to keep that up, and I feel it's very important to have the illusion and that fantasy, but also to tie it in with skill sets. You can't have one or the other. It's a combination of the two that make it complete. That's why I work really hard on my skill sets, and I try to stay to traditional acts, doing traditional nail bed, doing the swords, doing a danger act. And I like the fact that I'm a woman on the other side, not to put female targets down. It's, you know, it takes a lot of bravery and I respect my targets so much, but it's also an honor that I could be on the other side, because so many times when I first started in this industry and I said, oh, you know, I do archery with human targets. Oh, are you the target? No, I'm the shooter. Thank you very much.
That's a great point, because my wife has faced that for years when people would come in the shop, and she's probably a better tattooer than me. They say, you know, oh, are you the front girl of the shop? And she always like, oh, you know, it's like, come on, and she tattoos her ass off. She's incredible. So I definitely can appreciate that.
Well, you know, we deal with this as women still, and even though we make a lot of strides, you know, in the sideshow industry, women and women of color are very, very, the representation is low, but we're out, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with the tattoo industry. And, you know, the best thing you could do, for me personally, speaking for myself, the best way I could do it is to always represent myself to the best of my ability and to the utmost standard. Because, you know, I've had shit where people are like, oh, well, she's fat. Well, the worst thing you can say about my fucking act is that I'm fat. I don't give a fuck. Because you can't say I sucked. You can't say I wasn't skilled. You can't say I was badass. And I guarantee you wouldn't want me shooting at you, because you know I'd hit your ass a mile away.
Yeah!
You know, that's what... I hold myself up to my own standards, and, you know, and how I want to inspire other people, especially because I have a lot of young girls that, because of the archery, you know, and I was really surprised by this when I first started doing conventions. These little girls like would come up to me, oh my God, I love your archery. I was like, holy shit, little kids are watching me.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
great.
it's not hold myself up to this pedestal, but you know what? When I know, like, children are watching, especially little girls, I want to inspire them to be, you know, to do the things that they want to do, and that you can be feminine if you choose to be. You could be a tomboy if you choose to be, but, you know, it's not a man sport, it's not a girl sport. It's you achieving to your best ability the best you know, whatever's your capacity, and you always hold your own standards.
Well, I can attest to it, because when I was looking for video stuff to put together, my daughter was watching over my shoulder, and she's like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm watching these videos. There's some, you know, archery stuff and the sword swallow. And she's like, whoa. I mean, she's going to be 6. And she's like watching it, like, what's she doing? And she's like, whoa, that's so, she's like, that's so cool. So it's very important for her to see that stuff and turn into a strong woman. So I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
I want to ask you about you. So you just coincidentally released. You got the new shirt out today, right?
Oh, yeah. Where's the other one? I have one more here. Hold on.
Oh.
Yeah, mine. Where'd it go? Oh,
What?
it just. I don't know where the hell it went.
So,
Hold on. John, is there a black T-shirt over there?
well,
Hey,
Well,
wait,
look.
Jimmy might have one.
I got the image of it actually. So
Yeah, there it is.
I have, planned to show you guys.
I have
That was a fail. Oh well.
no,
But wait.
I have an image of it. I have the image
Yeah.
from your site, so I have it. I have the one with your face on it.
I love that makeup. That's one of my favorite makeup looks, which I
It's
wanted.
so awesome.
That's
So
a great shirt.
this shirt's killer. I love it. My order is already placed,
Mine will be coming next.
and if
Sorry.
if people want to, so the best way I would imagine social media to follow you and to actually, if people are interested in the t-shirt, I know you sent
Either on Instagram or my fan page, Facebook, Gigi Deluxe Sideshow.
Yep.
And they could just inbox me and I can send them the link. But I also have the links on my fan page too.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm very excited. They're super nice in person. Like I had samples first because I had sold t-shirts through another company and they were just trash. And I was really with it. And I didn't even get samples. And I had to wait to see my friend bought one. And I was so unhappy. The print was like tiny and just, it was awful. And so this company is very straightforward. 2 guys out of Chicago. Angel moved to the, and he runs the company out there. He's living in Philippines, and he used to live in Chicago. And my friend Tree Turner lives in Chicago still. And basically, they want to do a company. They do sportswear, but they also focus on musicians and artists and things that like inspire. It's kind of same along with you guys. Hook up with different types of performers and artists, creating different shirts that speak out and send that message of creativity and free thinking and things like that. So they approached me about a month ago asking if I would be interested, and I said absolutely. And they sent me the products because we weren't going to launch it until I could see it. And I told them, I said, look, I don't want to. My fans work very hard for their money, and I don't want them buying stuff that I'm not proud of them having. It's not just like, I want to make an honest living, but I don't want them getting garbage. So they sent me 2 samples, and I thought they were awesome, and we launched it the next day, which is today.
Awesome.
Super
looking shirt.
Yeah, I love it. I love that shirt. I think it reads so well as a printed t-shirt. So I'm excited. I'm going to wear it proudly when I get mine.
I did banner one too, favorite of people's, but my favorite is the Warrior shirt. I love that one.
It's wicked. So we're winding down. I usually do I do a little trivia giveaway at the end of the night, which we're gonna do. So hang out with us. It's pretty quick, but you can't answer anything because it's all sideshow related, and it's gonna be too easy for you. But actually, if you have any hints, if people are having trouble, maybe you can help them along. So everybody that's hanging out with us, thank you so much. Let's do some giveaway stuff. These guys, I have a handful of people that are always like, dude, why do you got to do this shit so late, man? Like, it's past my bedtime. And I'm like, come on. So tonight I'm going to do some photo stuff, and I'm going to look for people to guess. Yeah, I don't even know if you'll be able to see it, Gigi, but I'm just looking for, these are all sideshow related from way back, vintage stuff, and I'm looking for the name of the performer, and in one instance I'm looking for a location. So all right, homies watching the first one, I'm looking for the name of the person in the middle of this photo. And what I'm going to do with the giveaway stuff, if you guys get the answer correct, last week I did it and it worked out great. I'm going to send you a promo code for 30% off from the Crush Kill Destroy website. So if you get it right, I'll get your info and I'll be sure to message you the promo code. So here's the first photo. I'm just looking for the name of who this is in the center of the photo. Tick, 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 tick.
Oh, that's easy.
I know it is. I showed one of my buddies at work and he could not get it. And I was like,
Really?
come on, man.
He's fired.
Yeah, you know what? I'm making a
great.
note. When I go back to the shop, that's it. I'm gonna say I gotta let you go, man. All right.
No.
No.
Oh, come on,
No.
guys.
Come on.
Oh,
All right,
Jeff.
Jeff. Hey, Jeff got it.
Jeff.
All right, number
Nice
one.
job.
All right, Jeff got the first one. Okay,
Yeah.
guys.
Michelle, you just missed it.
Yeah, and
she first.
yeah, it came in. Well, oh, they're both at the same time. You know what? I'm gonna send stuff out to Michelle too.
All right, we got a double one. That's great.
We got a double, and I just have to let these guys know I do this from my end of the internet connection. I only see what pops up, so whatever pops up first is going to be the winner. That's how I got to do it. All right, number two. Let's see, where are we at here? This is a great one. I love this.
Oh yeah.
Might be a little trickier, but
well, we have some creative folks tuning in here. They can kind of,
I always tell people, you know what? Use Google. I don't care. Go for it. There's plenty of throughout history heavily tattooed women way back, but there was a handful that really were in the forefront of heavily tattooed women historically. So
right.
I don't know. Do you know this one, Gigi? It's a little bit tricky.
I can't see her face. I'm trying to see, but I'm guessing she's more I'm trying to tell from their shoes. She looks like she's more from the 40s.
Yeah, she passed in the 80s, I believe, and
that's a really good good guess on her part, though, in terms of putting that time together for Gigi.
Yeah, this photo is from 1939.
Yeah,
and it's from
I'm trying to think. I don't want to say anything, but I think out loud because I don't want to mess it up.
She was this photo was from a fair in Flushing, Queens, so it's in New York.
1939.
These guys, everyone's probably going nuts googling shit like,
the keyboard people.
That could always come back to it. You guys could think about that. So
we could always go back to that one. Yeah,
come back to that one. Let's do another one. I got this one's great.
Oh, the next one. Come on, this one's pretty.
The quiz on it. Oh, I know this. I have your book. It's a great book.
It is.
What's it called? Something of two. A funny story. One of them was an alcoholic, like a raging alcoholic.
Come on, seriously?
The other was not.
Wow. My brother and I were always amazed by these guys. They were I believe they're in the Guinness Book very early on, and I remember photos of them when they were young. And
I remember an HBO special I think they might have been a part of.
Yeah, I was so fascinated.
Title, I'll text it to you. I have it in my person, but it's a great what do you call it? What can I think today? It's their life story, and it talks about like growing up, their marriage, and it just.
I think Mike got it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm super curious. Yep. So Mike got it. Spelling's a little off, but Mike's awesome, so he got it. So
he's close, man. That's really, really good effort.
Yeah, he's got it. He's right there. So that was Bang and Ang Bunker from 1865, which is crazy, man. It's so crazy.
It really is.
All right, so let's see. We got this one's awesome. I love this. This is one of my personal favorites, and this is a photo from 1946. Kathy said the lady was Gilda, but it was not Gilda. Good guess. So this is a photo from I think.
Does he have the alligator man?
No, he's got the really
Tracy, you know?
actually tattooed like tribal-esque kind of tattoo, but just he was everywhere, t-shirts and patches and whatnot. He's got a nickname, so the nickname would be good enough. Tracy wants to guess.
She does.
That's Tracy. My wife just popped on. That means my daughter's sound asleep finally. So she's like, she says, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." I know. You can guess if you want. These guys, I really thought these were easier, but I like when people get stumped. It's kind of cool.
Obscure ones for sure.
Yeah, it's cool, but and the fingers got to move. There's some details being shared. People aren't, come on.
I think I'm not sure where he was from. I want to say Germany, but I could be wrong. And I was reading a bunch of stuff today, and I definitely get my facts kind of messed up sometimes. Let's see, someone. All right,
Kathy's got the lady.
Kathy does. So this is Betty Broadbent.
Yep.
Nice, Kathy. All right, so we got
Tracy. There's one more, or two more. Well, there's the one we're trying to do, number 4, and then there's a 5th one.
I can give a hint for. I can give a hint for this one. I could give, maybe I'll do his actual name, and then we'll try to get his nickname if people want to do their Google fingers.
That's fair.
Okay, so you guys, this is Horace Riddler is his name, but if you guys, Don got it. Bing, 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 bing.
Don did. Yeah, look at that.
Don got it. Nice. He got it before I even said it. That's awesome.
That's very cool.
Nice, Don. It's awesome. And then I have one. This is the last one, guys. Oops. Yep. And okay, this is the last one. So this one we're gonna look for location, right, Core?
Yes.
Let me make sure I got everything written down, because the first one, Jeff and Michelle basically got at the same time. Kathy got number 2, third one. So this is the last one, and I'm just looking for a location.
Yep.
And this is it. So if you think you know where this photo was taken, you got to think major sideshow stuff in the States. It's pretty obvious. I don't want to say.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think
we'll wait like a couple, see if we have to drop some major hints or not.
Not too far from where we live.
Yep.
I'd say that.
My mouth is shut. I know what it is.
Tracy knows too.
Tracy knows too. She's not allowed to answer because she can just come down here and grab some stuff out of my crush coat. Crush coat destroy supply.
Oh,
she's
Michelle.
giving. So Tracy's giving a. Oh,
do we have a tie again?
No. I just see the one. Well, Anthony guessed the Jersey Shore, but Eric got it. He said Coney Island. So bing, 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 bing.
Michelle did too.
Oh, damn it. Oh yeah, I think Michelle. Yeah. Michelle got it.
Right.
Well, you guys know how I love giving away free shit. So I'm gonna make it work out regardless. I'll make sure everybody gets something.
Because you're the man. That was nice. Those were some cool pictures too.
Yeah, I love the history. Like I said, I've been fascinated with sideshows since I was young.
Oh yeah. What's up, Paul?
Especially a lot of the Guinness Book of World Record stuff. My brother and I were so into it when we were kids, and I think that I think seeing those old photos was my first interest, and then witnessing my first sideshow was Jim Rose Sideshow Circus. I went to Jim Rose Sideshow, Marilyn Manson, and a 9 Inch Nails concert. It was so crazy in Madison Square Garden. It was like, I thought it was so crazy that this sideshow was opening up for Marilyn Manson and 9 Inch Nails. That was in the 90s, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then a lot of, like I said, the tattoo conventions, I was up close and personal.
I was a huge fan of Ripley, Believe It or Not, cartoons. You know, when you get them in a newspaper. and then they would have the books when I was a little kid. So I was thrilled. I still have my check from Ripley's in an envelope because it was such an honor as a little kid. You know, I freaking loved it, and
Yeah.
you know, it was just so fascinating to me. And then to be able to perform there, you know, twice was such a thrill because
That's awesome.
that's probably like the only time I was really like, whoa, this is so awesome. You know what I mean? It's not really starstruck, but it's like you get in your career when you get touched on things that you really admire or loved as a kid. And then
Yeah.
to be performed there with my daughter was freaking awesome.
Oh,
So
God,
she was
yeah.
my human target there, and it was so much fun. I had a blast. And the guy who runs it, who runs Ripley's and like the boardwalk, his name's
Yep.
Jim Gurley. Total sweetheart, super nice guy, loves what he does. His girlfriend was so sad because she couldn't make it to the show. So I went and I put my sneakers on after my performance in full costume. And I have a video of it, of going to visit her in the grocery store that she was working at. And I went and did a swallow for her in the grocery store, and everybody in the store was freaking out. But she was so thrilled. It was so awesome.
That's so awesome. That's good stuff right there. My wife wants to know if you know Nikki LaVillain.
No, I don't.
She's from Connecticut, but she's been in New Orleans for a couple years now. Burlesque dancer that my wife actually went to high school with. So she was just curious. She's
I don't really go to burlesque shows because I don't drink, and I really don't go to the bars. So really, any socialization that I do, I'm getting paid for to perform. So I really don't like when things were open. I maybe go to like listen to music a little bit, but
how about the I forget his first name, but he goes by the Dancing Man, New Orleans, the Dancing Man. Oh, he's been.
No.
I can't. When we stayed down there in one of the bed and breakfast places, he was the guy that he was like the grounds guy. He was taking care of stuff, and he was telling us how I'm the Dancing Man in New Orleans. I was like, oh, that's crazy. I saw his Instagram page, and he was on a cover of magazines and like all these great photos of him doing this like wicked dancing. Tracy, my wife, knows more about that, but I was just curious.
I live in a bubble. You know, if I wasn't performing, I'm usually working at costumes and. So it really doesn't, and that's like one of the problems I had when I first started was when I was just doing venues, I don't do clicks because I don't socialize and drink. I work on my show and I don't really go out. So when I meet people, it's usually I meet them when I'm performing or they're on the circuit or something like that. If we're in the same circles, I probably won't meet them. Because what I do takes a lot of time, especially when I was, you know, I injured myself. So I haven't shot archery in like a month, and it's been killing me because I sprained my wrist bad. But I'm getting to the point where I could shoot again because I just started doing whips. So I'm training with whips and starting to get full mobility again. So and strength and doing weights again, so I could be able to shoot. But I mean, all this stuff takes time, you know. I really don't have that time. So like if I'm doing stuff during the day and I'm working on costumes and stuff, and I also have like my family life, I really don't have the desire to like go out unless I'm, you know, and
now we're not going anywhere. Is really no one's going out. So
right. Well, that's the case now, but before it's like, you know, sometimes it would cause problems because people expect you to go out, and it's not that I don't want to support. I support other ways. You know, I'll promote people online and things like that. But because I don't drink, I don't feel it's necessary to go out if I don't want to be around a bunch of people drinking. You know, I take no pleasure in it. And it's not that drinking bothers me. It doesn't. But after a point when everybody's drunk, it's like zero interest. Like we're on two and it makes no point. Plus I'm fucking tired. I've been doing shit.
Right. Bedtime, damn it.
I want to go to sleep. You know.
Well, I want to thank you so much. This was awesome. I had a really great
time. Again,
bravo. I could probably talk for hours because there's just so much fun stuff to talk about.
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I have your Instagram. I think people will probably be jumping on there and taking a look at the shirts, hopefully, which are awesome. I hope you sell a bunch of them because they're wicked.
Thank you.
They're
I have
awesome.
a size medium V-neck that I'm going to be doing a giveaway with this week.
Oh, nice. Awesome. I'll
Oh,
keep
sweet.
that.
Yeah, and that's the other sample I got. So I figure I could do a giveaway with that one. So
Very cool.
everybody keep their eyes out for it.
Definitely.
Yeah, we had
You don't count if you live in Hawaii. I'm not paying postage for Hawaii or Canada. Sorry.
that's funny.
Uh,
Core,
that's
you got
great.
any closing thoughts, Core?
I mean, after reviewing, looking at your Instagram, Facebook, some of the other stuff I was able to find online and read a little of the stuff you post. I mean, you knocked it out of the park even more so than I thought it was going to be. It was so great. I mean, you're just such a great energy, great vibe. I mean, a great talent. I mean, obviously, what you do is, like you said, very rare, and to have it shared here with everybody. And I mean, it's mind blowing. I just couldn't imagine ever even doing it. And then there you are doing it. And it's like, wow, it's just so impressive. I wish you nothing but the best with everything you got going on. You're a talent, you're fun, you're vibrant. And I know on behalf of Jimmy, completely appreciate you coming on here and taking the time to spend with us, because it's been great. Just awesome.
Sure.
So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll be in touch. I'll catch you on the internet and all that.
Yeah.
Great shirts. It's so awesome of you.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. Everybody, it was a great time. And I think it's we've been going longer and longer every week, Core. There's so much to talk about, and just so much to enjoy,
Yeah, man, it's extremely it's refreshing, it's fun, it takes your mind away from the chaos, and brings a lot of really cool people together, a really good vibe. And like we said, man, I mean, you met her just through the business, man. I mean, through starting the brand and things like, the masks. It's just amazing. And then here she is, and really sharing a lot about herself too, man. She got into some stuff that I know, maybe we weren't going to ask, but she brought up some stuff, that having a family and dealing with recovery and different things. So, I mean, it's just amazing. Each person, has their own thing that they're bringing to the table, man. It's just so much fun. What's up, Tracy?
She's so funny. All right, and that's shit. Oh, before we go, real quick, next week, whoever's last couple people hanging out, big thing.
Huge thing.
We'll do some posts during the week. Crush Kill Destroy's first ever on location. I'm going to be at Corey and I are going to be at Lasting Brass Brewing in Oakville, doing the Lucky Soul Tattoo beer release. It's probably going to be a daytime thing, so all you people that are always complaining that we're on late and it's past your bedtime, you'll have a chance to jump on. The format is probably going to be very make it up as we go along.
Yeah, improv. It's going to be all improv.
All improv with the social distancing put in place. We have no idea what we're going to be doing, but just keep an eye
figure it out.
There's going to be beer to be sold, which is going to be the proceeds are going to Lucky Soul Tattoo to help us recover from the couple months that we were closed. Ed Silva, incredible friend, and very, very grateful for him doing this. So we're going to promote the beer. We're going to promote more CKD stuff, and we're just going to have a good time and chat with everyone.
Yep. It's going to be great, man. I can't wait. So much fun.
And with that, I say to you all, crush on. Corey, thanks again. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. Great show.
Clink.
Lots of fun, bro. As always.
Crush, Kill, Destroy. Stay tuned for more news, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.